Your last fill-up cost you about $59. The station that took your money did not set that price. The owner did not choose it either. He found out about it the same morning you did. That number comes from a wholesale market called the rack. It resets twice a day at a fuel terminal you have never seen. American convenience stores moved $817 billion last year. Most of that was fuel. Almost none of the profit was. And the number on that sign can turn on you fast. In late February of 2026, the national average was $2.98. By May 21st, it hit $4.56. That is a 53% rise in under 3 months. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what every stop at that pump costs you, in dollars. Welcome to Rigged Numbers, where we expose the financial systems quietly working against you and give you the math to fight back. Subscribe if you want the math, not the hype. Start with what a gas station actually is, not what the sign says. A gas station is a piece of paper that says, "Park here for 4 minutes." That is the whole product. 4 minutes of your attention, parked next to a door. The gasoline is how they buy those 4 minutes. This is not complicated. Nobody is hiding it from you. What makes it work is the scale. There are roughly 152,000 fuel-selling convenience stores in America. They handle about 160 million transactions a day. They sell an estimated 80% of the fuel bought in this country. Now here is the single rule the entire industry runs on. The gallon buys the customer. The building sells the profit. Say it the other way, and it lands harder. Fuel is the advertisement. The store is the actual product. The National Association of Convenience Stores publishes the proof every year. In 2025, fuel was 65% of every dollar the industry collected. It was only 39% of the gross profit. Now flip it. The inside of the store is 35% of the money. It is 61% of the profit. Read that twice. 2/3 of the revenue produces 1/3 of the earnings. One plain English translation before we move. The rack is just wholesale for gasoline. Your station buys there, hauls it a few miles, and marks it up. That markup is the entire fight. Let me show you the arithmetic on one fill. Say you pump 15 gallons at $3.94. That is $59.10. Federal and state fuel taxes average 51 cents a gallon. The federal share is 18.4 cents and has not moved since 1993. So $7.65 of your fill goes straight to the government. The station never keeps a penny of it. That 51 cents is an average, not a rule. California drivers pay 87.8 cents. Alaska drivers pay 27.4. That alone explains part of a $2 spread between states. Another $45.75 goes upstream: crude oil, refining, pipelines, and the delivery truck. That leaves the station's gross margin, which averages about 38 cents a gallon. On your fill, $5.70. Then the card network takes its cut of the entire transaction, taxes included. At 2.4%, that is $1.42. Then subtract wages, electricity, insurance, tank testing, and theft. Industry figures put the net profit near 10 cents a gallon, 10 cents. On 15 gallons, that is $1.50. You handed over $59.10. The station kept about $1.50. Now walk inside and buy one fountain drink. 24 ounces, $2.29. Syrup, cup, lid, ice, and carbonation cost the store roughly 45 cents. That cup clears $1.84. One soda out-earns 15 gallons of gasoline. Same customer. Same 4 minutes. This is not a trick your local owner invented. They are not getting rich on your tank. They are surviving on your cup. That is the rule. The gallon buys the customer. The building sells the profit. Every price you see in the rest of this video is that rule, operating at a larger scale. Now put a real person inside the machine. Consider Carlos. He drives 13,500 miles a year, which is the American average. His car returns 25 miles per gallon. That is 540 gallons a year. At 12 gallons a fill, 45 stops. Carlos is not careless. He compares prices. He notices when the sign jumps. He would tell you he is careful with money, and he would be telling the truth. The system does not need him to be careless. It only needs him to be normal. Scenario 1. Carlos pays the cash price. Plenty of stations post 2 numbers on the sign. Cash usually runs 5 to 10 cents under credit. Call his cash price $3.84. 540 gallons costs him $2,073.60 a year. That is $172.80 a month. Over 10 years, $20,736. That is the honest cost of getting to work. Nobody has taken anything from him yet. Scenario 2. Carlos does what nearly everyone does. He taps a credit card at the pump and pays the credit price, $3.94. A dime more per gallon. Now his year costs $2,127.60, $177.30 a month. That dime costs him $54 a year, $540 over a decade. He will never see that number. It is buried inside a price he assumed was fixed. Scenario 3 is where the real money lives. Carlos goes inside on 36 of his 45 stops. Coffee in the morning, a bottle of water in July, something to chew on the drive home. The industry average basket is $7.80. 36 stops times $7.80 is $280.80 a year, $23.40 a month, $2,808 over 10 years. Think about what he is actually buying there. Not groceries. He is buying the fact that he was already standing there. Now add the whole picture. Carlos spends $2,408.40 a year at gas stations, $200.70 a month, $24,084 over 10 years. The gasoline he genuinely needed was never the expensive part. $3,348 of that decade was engineered. The dime on the card, the walk to the door. The station handed Carlos a bill for $3,348. It never sent him an invoice. Here is the advice everyone gives about all this. Shop around, find the cheap station, drive the extra few blocks. It sounds like discipline. It is the exact behavior the industry is built around. A 2025 industry consumer survey found something specific. 72% of drivers say price is the main reason they choose a station. 16% say location, 12% say brand, and 69% said they would drive 5 minutes out of their way. To save 5 cents a gallon, meet James. James is the guy who does it every time. Run his arithmetic. 5 minutes each way is roughly 5 miles round trip in town. On a 12-gallon fill, 5 cents a gallon saves him 60 cents. Those 5 miles burn about a fifth of a gallon. At $3.94, that is 79 cents of fuel. James is already down 19 cents. That is before tires, brakes, or a single minute of his life. Over 45 fills a year, he saves $27. He burns $35.46 getting there. Net loss, $8.46. And the time, 10 extra minutes a trip, 450 minutes a year. James spent 7.5 hours to lose $8.46. Then he walks inside, because he is standing there anyway. One average basket, $7.80. That single trip erases 13 fills worth of savings. Notice what James is optimizing. He is optimizing the one number posted in 3-foot letters. He is ignoring every number that is not posted at all. The safe advice did not fail James. It delivered him. Now the part that matters more, and it has a name. In 1991, the economist Robert Bacon called it rockets and feathers. Prices climb like a rocket and drift down like a feather. Borenstein and his co-authors confirmed the pattern in American data in 1997. The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis has written about it repeatedly. The Federal Trade Commission put its finger on the cause. Drivers hunt hard for cheap gas when prices are climbing. When prices start falling, they stop looking. So the competitive pressure disappears at the exact moment it would help you. Your shopping habit is the mechanism. It is not the defense. The seatbelt was bolted to the same crash. 2026 showed it plainly. The national average went from $2.98 in late February to $4.56 on May 21st, 12 weeks up. Crude then fell back into the 60s and 70s, a barrel. By mid-July, the pump still read $3.94. The rocket took 12 weeks. The feather is still coming down. Now zoom out. On December 1st, 1913, Gulf opened America's first drive-in gas station in Pittsburgh. It sold 30 gallons that day at 27 cents a gallon. $8.10. That was the entire day. Today, the average basket inside an American convenience store is $7.80. Not per day, per customer. One customer. Now here is the metric that separates the stations harvesting you from the ones that are not. It is called retail fuel margin, and it is just markup in cents per gallon. Over the last 5 years, it has averaged about 38 cents. In a price war, a station may run 20 cents. In a quiet month, it may run 55. That 35-cent gap across Carlos's 540 gallons is $189 a year. $1,890 over 10 years. Same car, same commute, same gasoline, different sign. So how does the system actually move? 4 mechanisms, and all 4 are the same rule. The first is the rack. Every fuel terminal in the country posts a wholesale price. It resets twice a day. That number reaches your local sign long before any news story does. Stations do not price gasoline off cable news. They price it off the rack. And the rack follows crude oil. The Energy Information Administration says crude was 52% of the pump price in 2025. The rack tells you one more thing. Retailers hold back price increases when wholesale spikes. They cut their own margin rather than lose customers across the street. On the way up, the station eats part of the increase. On the way down, it takes it back. That is not a conspiracy. That is a thin margin business defending itself. The second mechanism is the swipe. In 2025, convenience stores paid $21.3 billion in card fees. 82% of the industry's $817 billion in sales went through a card. That works out to roughly 2.5 cents of every dollar you spend. Swipe fees are the industry's second largest operating cost, behind labor, and the fee applies to the tax portion too. Stores paid $4.6 billion in card fees on taxes they collect for the government. That is why the cash discount exists. It is not generosity, it is arithmetic. The third mechanism is the floor plan. The cold vault is on the back wall. The coffee is at the far end. The restrooms are past everything worth selling. Food service was 28.5% of in-store sales in 2025. It was 39% of in-store gross profit. Add packaged drinks and you are over 60% of the profit inside that building. Look at the trend line. Food service was under 12% of in-store sales in 2005. 2 decades later, it is nearly 29%. The industry did not drift there. It walked there on purpose. Every step you take in there is the rule working. The gallon bought you. The walk sells the profit. The fourth mechanism is the one nobody at the pump considers. That sign predicts the economy better than most professional forecasters do. James Hamilton, an economist at the University of California, San Diego, documented the pattern. 10 of the 11 American recessions since World War II were preceded by a sharp rise in oil prices. 10 out of 11. The only exception was the mild downturn that began in 1960. Very few Wall Street models carry a record like that. And it is the same rule again, scaled to a whole country. When fuel gets expensive, people stop walking inside. The profit engine stalls before the economy admits anything is wrong. Watch the coffee, not the headlines. So what do you actually do about it? 4 things, all boring, all countable. 1. Ask for the cash price or pay with debit. Card networks charge a percentage on credit and a flat fee on debit, around 24 cents. Many stations pass that difference to you. The spread usually runs 5 to 10 cents a gallon. At a dime across 540 gallons, that is $54 a year. 540 over 10. 2. Learn which way wholesale is moving before a big fill. Wholesale fuel prices are published daily and free to look up. When wholesale is climbing, fill today. When wholesale is falling, wait 3 days. The feather is slow. You can stand on the right side of it. 3. Separate the fill from the walk. Pay at the pump. Do not drift inside on autopilot. If you want the coffee, buy the coffee on purpose. Just decide before you park. At 36 stops a year, that single decision is worth $280.80. 4. Check your tire pressure monthly and read your owner's manual. Correct pressure can improve your mileage by up to 3%, and if the manual says regular, premium buys you nothing but a larger number on the sign. None of these 4 moves need an app or a rewards program. They need 4 numbers: your gallons per year, your cash credit spread, your inside stops, your tire pressure. Now return to Carlos. Default Carlos spends $2,408.40 a year. Adjusted Carlos pays the cash price. He keeps his tires right, so his 3% gain drops him to 523.8 gallons. At 384, that is $2,011.39. He still goes inside 9 times a year because coffee is not a moral failing. 9 baskets add $70.20. His total is $2,081.59. The gap is $326.81 a year, $27.23 a month, $3,268 over 10 years. Same car, same commute, same gasoline. $326 is not life-changing money. That is the point. It was never supposed to feel large enough to notice. He simply stopped paying the part that was never about fuel. That price on the corner is not really an advertisement for gasoline. It is the closest thing your neighborhood has to a live economic readout. It moves before the headlines move. It moved before 10 of the last 11 recessions, and it is the only price in America that people memorize without trying. The people who understand this are not smarter than you. They just stopped pretending it was boring. I built a calculator that takes your gallons, your price, and your inside spend. It gives you your own 10-year number, not Carlos's. Link is in the description. You have looked at that sign 10,000 times. Now you know which number on it is actually yours. If this connected some dots, hit like and subscribe, because the next one takes apart a system you use every week.